All right, so today I thought I'd talk about poker. So you get to learn about poker today. Poker's a game, right? Some of the stuff you learn can be applied to everyday English if you're not interested in poker. What is poker? What is poker? Okay. What do you play poker with?
With my roommate.
With what? Not who.
What?
What do you play poker with?
With my
What do you use to play poker?
hand and brain.
Hand and brain? Not what parts of the body. What equipment do you need?
Poker.
You need poker?
Equipment.
What do you use to play poker?
A desk and chair.
Not always. You could play without them. What do you have to play poker?
People.
What equipment? What do you use? Do you use a basketball?
Poker card.
Yeah, cards, right? A standard deck of playing cards.
Answer.
What's the difference between poker and other card games? What's the difference between poker and other card games? What's the difference? What? Vince, what's the difference?
I have no idea.
Roxy, what's the difference? What do you think the difference is? Why?
Card game.
Huh?
Is there any card game?
Well, there's lots of other card games. Why do many Chinese students call all card games poker? Last class I taught, class 1, they said we don't call all card games poker, and then they proceeded to call all card games poker. Why do some Chinese students call all card games poker? Ace, why? Wendy, why? Katya, why? Good answer. Poker is a type of card game with particular rules regarding the significance of the cards. Poker is usually associated with gambling. Most times people play poker, it's for money, right?
Yes.
You can play poker without money, but in my opinion, that's very boring. I don't like to play poker without money, but some people do that. You can play poker without money. The difference between poker and other card games are the value of the cards in relation to each other. Poker is a game of both skill and luck. You can be the most skilled person and still lose, because luck comes into it sometimes, right? So you can get lucky and win even if you are a horrible player. But if you're skilled and you're very skilled, then more often than not you're going to win, but that doesn't mean you're going to win every time. So it involves both skill and luck. I don't know why some students refer to all card games as poker. I guess it's because when they were learning English, for some reason, that they learned that poker meant card games, but it doesn't. It's a particular type of card game. Other popular card games include blackjack and bridge. What is blackjack? What is blackjack? Blackjack also has another name that some people call it. What's the other name people call blackjack?
No idea.
Not spades, that's a different game. Yes, 21. The object of blackjack is to get to 21. All face cards and tens are worth 10. All other cards are worth the number on the card. An ace can be a 1 or 11. If you go over 21, you automatically lose. Blackjack, same as poker, most people play for money. Again, you can play without money, but it's boring. Also, in my opinion, blackjack is boring anyway, whether you play it for money or not. But your odds are better. You have better odds to win in blackjack than you do poker. And there's some skill involved in blackjack, but it's minimal. Once you learn all the rules, they're going to apply all the time. You learn what to do when you get certain cards, and you have a better chance of winning with blackjack. But I'm not a big blackjack fan. I don't play bridge, so I can't tell you the rules for bridge. That's a popular game, usually for older people, and you don't see bridge in the casino like you would see poker or blackjack. How many cards are in a standard deck of playing cards? How many cards? 54 or what?
52.
Yes, they could be both. I'll talk about that more in a minute. What is a suit? What is a suit? Okay, what is it? You're right. What? 12. 13. What is a suit? What is a suit?
They're all in the same
Okay, yeah.
in the same shape.
They're in the same shape. How many suits are in a deck of playing cards?
4.
Yeah, 4. There are 52 cards in a standard deck of playing cards. If you count the jokers, then there are 54 cards in the deck. Most poker games don't use jokers, but they all can. If you go to a casino to play poker, they will not use the jokers. But if you're playing with your friends on the weekend, you might use jokers if you want to. When a joker is used, it is usually a wild card, meaning that it could be whatever you want it to be, right? So if you have 2 kings and a joker, you say, I have 3 kings, right? That's how we use wild cards. Sometimes it could be a death card, meaning you automatically lose, right?
Yes.
I've played poker games where if you get a joker face up, you automatically lose. A wild card can be any card that the dealer designates as wild. Most often jokers are used, but any card can be used. Right? If we're playing poker and I say aces are wild, then that means any ace you get is also wild. Right? If you're playing with your friends, again, at a casino, that won't happen. They're very strict with the rules. And once again, a wild card is any card you want it to be. There are 4 suits in each deck of cards. Spades, diamonds, hearts, and clubs. How many cards are in each suit?
13.
Yep, 13. 13 cards in each suit. 13 times 4 equals 52. There may be 2 jokers, which would bring the total up to 54 cards. Again, not always joker. If you go to Macau or Las Vegas, they're not going to have jokers in those decks. Aces have the highest value. An ace can be higher than a king, highest value, or lower than a 2 if you choose to use it in a straight. So it could have a low value too if you want to use it in a straight. All suits have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
They are in progressive order, right? That means a 3 is higher than a 2, a 4 is higher than a 3, a 5 is higher than a 4, etc. Jacks, queens, and kings, we also call these face cards. A jack is higher than a 10, but lower than a queen. A queen is higher than a jack, but lower than a king. A king is higher than a queen, but lower than an ace. That's why poker is not blackjack. In blackjack, these are all equally 10, right? But in poker, king's highest of these 3. What is a hand in reference to poker? What is a poker hand? Okay, what is a poker hand? What do you think it is? Arashi, what's a poker hand? What do you think it is? You can look these up. Ace, what's a poker hand? Look it up. Look it up. Last class someone found it. What's a poker hand? Xavier, what's a poker hand? Guess. No. A hand has several definitions. Some of them are idiomatic or figurative, right? Can you give me a hand? That doesn't mean literally give me your hand. That means help me, right? So in a hand in poker is the cards one is holding in his or her hand. Call that a hand. There's another definition. A hand can also be a round of poker. If I want to say, do you want to play a couple of hands of poker, right? That might be a round of poker. Typically, a hand will consist of 5 cards. If less, then certain hands are not available. If more, only 5 cards are used. So there's lots of different varieties of poker. Sometimes you'll get 7 cards, but you can only use 5, right? Sometimes you'll get 5 cards, or sometimes you'll get less than 5. If you get less than 5, then you can't get certain hands. Now we're looking at the value of the hands. High card is the lowest hand you could have. It basically means that you don't have much, only 1 card that is high. If all hands rely on high card, then you go in order of the ranking of the cards. So if I have an ace and you have a queen, I win, right? Because ace is higher than queen. That's just for high card. What is a pair? What is a pair? Yeah. A pair is any 2 cards that are the same. 2 twos, 2 aces, etc. If 2 players have a pair, the highest ranking pair wins. If you guys have a pair of 10s and I have a pair of 8s, then you win because 10s are higher than 8s, right? But if we both have a pair of 10s Then we look at the next highest card. Right? I have a pair of tens, you have a pair of tens, but you have an ace and I have a king, so you win because your ace would beat my king. Right? What is two pair? What is two pair? Four suit. What is two pair? Elisa, what is two pair? No, not four cards in the same. Good try. Two pair is two of one kind of card and two of another kind of card, right? Two fives and two kings, that's two pair. If two players have two pair, the player with the highest pair wins. So if I have two aces and two twos, you guys have two kings and two queens, who wins? I have two aces and two twos. You have two kings and two queens. Who wins? Yes, even though your kings and queens beat my two, my aces are highest, so they're going to win. Three of a kind is any three cards that are the same, like three eights, three queens, etc. Highest three beats the lowest three if two players have it. What is a straight? What is a straight? What do you think a straight is? Christine, what is a straight? Well, guess. What do you think a straight is?
我觉得像是四大一样的感觉。With four same card with single.
What?
No, I guess.
A straight is five cards in consecutive order. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King. Highest card in a straight beats another straight. Now look at that picture. That is a low straight. That ace is not above a king because it's being used as a 1 right there, right? So that it could go above a king or below a 2, right? So that's a pretty low straight right there. But you could use an ace there if you want to. Because if you don't use the ace as part of a straight, then it's only an ace high. What is a flush? What's a flush? Kiki, what's a flush? Guess. What do you think a flush is?
Just the straight with the same shape.
No, not yet. Good try. A flush is 5 cards of the same suit. Any 5 cards of the same suit. They don't have to be in consecutive order. Any 5 hearts, any 5 spades. The flush with the highest card wins if there are 2 or more flushes, right? So if I have a flush and 10, I have a flush and 10 of spades is my highest card. You have a flush and 10 of hearts is your highest card. Who wins? I have a flush to the 10. You also have a flush to the 10. Who wins? You have a 10 of hearts. I have a 10 of spades. We both have flushes. Who wins? No, spades don't win. We look at the next highest card, right? We both have 2 nines, and we look at the next highest card, right? So flush with the highest card wins. If they're tied, then we look at the next card. If they're tied, we look at the next card. If every card's the same, then it's a tie. But that's usually not going to happen. That rarely happens. Usually that'll happen in certain games with a straight maybe. A full house is basically a pair and a 3 of a kind. So 2 of one card and 3 of another. The full house with the highest card in the 3 is the winner, because the 3 is better than the 2, right? So if you have 3 2s and 2 aces, we're looking at your 2s, right? If someone else has a full house, they're probably going to beat you because their 3 cards are going to be higher than your 3 cards. All right, what is 4 of a kind? Huh? What is 4 of a kind?
4 cards in the same number.
Yeah. 4 of a kind is 4 of the same card. 4 aces, 4 tens, etc. If 2 people have it, the highest 4 of a kind wins. What is 5 of a kind? What is 5 of a kind? Meyer, what's 5 of a kind? What do you think it is? Easy. What is 5 of a kind? Rita, what is 5 of a kind? Yeah, when 5 cards are the same. 5 of a kind is 5 of any card. 5 jacks, 5 fives, 5 anything. Why is 5 of a kind sometimes impossible in poker? Why is 5 of a kind sometimes impossible? Wendy, why is 5 of a kind sometimes impossible? Wendy, why? Yeah, the only time you get 5 of a kind is if you have wild cards, right? If there's no wild cards, you cannot get 5 of a kind because there's only 4 of each card, right? A straight flush is basically a straight and a flush. It is 5 cards in consecutive order, all of the same suit, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of hearts, for example. That's a straight flush. What is a royal flush? What is a royal flush? Vince, what's a royal flush?
A straight in the same shape as
Well, that's a straight flush. What's a royal flush?
Royal. Old king.
Yeah. The highest hand you could get in poker is a royal flush. The highest hand, 10, jack, queen, king, and ace, all of the same suit, is a royal flush. If you have a royal flush in poker, bet a lot, because you're going to win. The odds of getting this are not good at all. So I've been playing poker for 30 years. I maybe only had 4 or 5 royal flushes. So here's the order of hands. Highest, royal flush, then straight flush, then 5 of a kind if you're playing with wilds. Otherwise you can't get 5 of a kind. Then 4 of a kind, full house, flush, straight, 3 of a kind, 2 pair, pair, and high card. That's the order it goes, right? Now keep in mind, I don't know the exact odds, but the odds of getting a royal flush are like 1 in 700,000, right? So you're not getting royal flushes too terribly often. I think the odds of getting a pair are like 1 in 7, right? So these are all based on the odds or the statistics of how often you will get these. If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. Win some, lose some. It's all the same to me. I like that band Motorhead, and they've got a song about cards. Why is poker fun? What? Basically, right? Now, some people don't gamble. Some people just play poker for, I don't know, they might like it for competition the way you like other games. But mostly it's fun because people gamble. It's the thrill of winning someone else's money and the risk of losing your money. It's more intriguing because you can develop a skill at it. If you just won all the time and you weren't risking your money, that might be a little fun, but it's much more fun because you know you're risking your money. You can lose, right? You can lose your money. That's what makes it fun for people who gamble. And the more you play, the better you'll get at it. You can develop a skill. And even if you're a horrible poker player, you can still win sometimes, right? Because there's some luck involved too. What does it mean to shuffle the cards? What does shuffle mean? Elisa, what does shuffle mean?
Clean up the poker cards for next game.
I don't like cleanup, but I know what you're trying to say. Mix them up, right? What does it mean to cut the cards? Cut the cards, what does that mean? Cut the cards. What does that mean? Arashi, I don't know what you're doing. What does that mean?
It's going to show what is like fucking try.
But what does it mean to cut the cards? Because I don't know what you were doing.
Trying to.
Maybe when you get the cards, you put the cards on your hand and you change the.
Oh, I see. No, that's not it. Good guess. Good try. It's separating the deck. I'll talk more about it in a second. What does it mean to deal the cards? deal the cards, what does that mean?
To then buy another.
Distribute the cards to others.
Yeah, basically, give the cards to the other people you're playing with. Shuffling the cards is mixing up with the cards for a new deal. The purpose of this is to make sure that the cards are in no particular order and no one is cheating, and to mix up the cards. Cutting the cards is when the person on the dealer's right splits the cards and moves the bottom part to the top. Again, the purpose is to prevent cheating. Someone really good with their hands can place cards in a certain area while they're shuffling, right? So you always go to the person on your right, have them take the top, set it there, then you put the bottom on the top before you deal. Dealing the cards is when the dealer gives out the cards one at a time to the players. The purpose of this is to play cards. Always deal to the left and cut to the right. When you play with your friends, right, not at a casino, but you play with your friends, maybe 5 of you sitting around a table, you always deal to the person on your left first, and you go around the table like that. But when you're cutting the cards, you always go to the person to your right to cut the cards. And in a casino, you won't be dealing, right? They have a professional dealer there who will deal the cards in a casino. So you won't do that. You only deal if you're playing with your friends. Usually, if there's 5 of us playing, we all take turns dealing. What is an ante? Huh?
Money.
What money? Kinda. When do you use the ante? Ante's money. When do you play it? When? Yeah, before the deal. What is a blind? Huh? What'd you say, Arashi? What's a blind? Katya, what is a blind? What do you think it is? Roxy, what's a blind? What do you think it is? Vince, what's a blind? All right, what does it mean to check? Kinda. We'll talk about that. What is a bet? What is a bet, Rita? What do you think it is? Guess. That's like the easiest one out of all these. What's a bet? Huh? Not really about the ante. It is when you bet something, that means you're wagering money, right? We'll talk more about this. What is a call? If you call, what does that mean?
Follow the bet.
Huh?
Follow the bet.
Yeah, bet the same, right? What is a raise? Yeah, bet more. And it doesn't have to be double, but it's more, right? What does it mean to fold? Yeah, you quit. An ante is money that every player puts in before the cards are dealt. This is usually so that if someone wins at the beginning before the betting starts, then at least he or she gets some money, right? So often it's a little money you put in before the cards are dealt. A blind is only used in certain games and is often used instead of an ante. When blinds are used, only one or two players have to pay at the beginning. It's also done before the cards are dealt, right? So blind, ante is everyone at the table. Blind is usually only one or two people doing it. So that blinds and antes aren't used at the same time. Check means that you want to stay in, but you don't want to pay any money. You can only stay in with a check if everyone else checks, right? Once someone starts to bet, you have to call, raise, or fold. You can't check anymore, right? Bet is what you probably think it means. You want to bet money on your cards. Usually we say the first person to risk money bets. Everyone else after that either calls or raises. A call is when you bet the same amount of money that someone else has bet. When you say call, it means you are not raising or folding. You can no longer check when someone has bet. Raise means that you want to bet more money than the previous person, right? If the person before me bets $5, I might say I raise it to $10. That means betting more. A raise usually means you have a good hand or you are bluffing. When you fold, it means you quit. You don't think you're going to win, so you fold your cards, you quit. You don't want to bet anymore. Once you fold, even if your hand is better than everyone else's, you cannot win, right? If you fold, and then at the end everyone shows their cards and you had the best hand, it doesn't matter because you folded. Once you fold, you're going to lose, right? Poker also has some additional terms that have extended beyond the game itself. These are just a few of them. There's many more. What is a poker face? Yeah, I don't know about Lady Gaga's song. What does poker face mean? Huh? No face. No expression, right?
Yes.
What is bluffing? What does it mean to bluff? What does it mean to bluff? Tina, what is bluffing? What is bluffing? What does it mean to bluff? Cheat? It's not cheating. In some ways, sometimes it might be considered dishonest, but it's not cheating. You're allowed to bluff in poker. Huh? Huh? Watch?
Deceive.
Okay, deceive how?
Brace it out.
Sometimes. We'll talk about it. And what is a tell? What is a tell? I like to play poker with her because I always know when she has a good hand because she has a tell. What is a tell? Cheat? Tell isn't really cheating. If I say Roxy has a tell when we play poker, what does that mean? Not a trick. We'll talk about these. All right, first, a poker face means to show no emotion, so that your opponents don't know by your facial expression if you have a good hand or a bad hand. This has extended beyond poker into everyday life. If I say someone has a poker face, it means she's showing no expression, right? I don't know how she's feeling. Also, if you watch professional poker, half the people at the table are wearing these. Why? A lot of people are wearing sunglasses in a dark room. Why? Yeah, it helps with their poker face, right? You can't see what's going on with their eyes, right? They don't want you to see what's going on with their eyes. So a poker face means showing no emotion. That's gone beyond poker. We could use that in everyday life without talking about poker. Bluffing is quite simply lying or pretending. If you have a bad hand, but you stay in and you continue betting money, then you are bluffing, hoping to scare away other players, right? If I bet $5 and you bet $100, but you have a horrible hand, but that might scare me into folding, right? So that's bluffing. It's perfectly fine to do that in poker. It's part of the game. All good players will bluff sometimes, right? That's a good way to get money. You could scare away other players, right? Of course, unless they call you, then you lose. I have a friend, or had a friend when I used to live in Wuhan. He bluffed way too much. He constantly bluffed, like almost every hand. He just bet massive amounts of money. So we knew he didn't always have anything. So I would always call, and sometimes he had good cards, but most of the time he did not. A tell is a movement, often unconscious, that some people might do without even realizing, that allow others to know whether or not they have a good hand or a bad hand. You might have a tell when playing poker and you don't know it, right? Maybe every time you get a good hand, you rub your forehead. If I'm playing with you for hours and hours, and I see you rub your forehead, and then I wait and see what kind of hand, then I know. She rubs her forehead every time she's got a good hand. Some people give away signs that they don't realize they're giving away, right? That's a tell. Another Motorhead quote, pushing up the ante. I know you got to see me read them and weep. Dead man's hand again. What is a dead man's hand? What is a dead man's hand? What is a dead man's hand? Roxy, what's a dead man's hand? What do you think it is? Xavier, what's a dead man's hand? Huh? A game? No, thanks for trying. Brief little history lesson. Wild Bill Hickok was a famous gunslinger in the American West. He was also a degenerate gambler. While he was playing poker in the town of Deadwood, Jack McCall came up behind him and shot him in the back of the head. It was over something else in a previous game. Wild Bill died almost immediately. The hand he had was two pairs, 2 aces and 2 eights. Ever since then, aces over eights has been referred to as a dead man's hand. Aces and eights, dead man's hand. 2 aces, 2 eights. There's some controversy about what the 5th card was. It wasn't an ace or an 8. I think most people think it was a 5, but that doesn't matter. Normally, when we say dead man's hand, it means you have 2 aces and 2 eights, and then some other card. What poker games do you know? There's lots of different poker games. If you use these rules we just talked about, then you're playing poker. Right? You can't play blackjack with these rules because the rules are different. What games do you know? Because there's hundreds of them. You know any poker games? Huh? I don't know that. All right, what is the most popular poker game today? If you watch professional poker right now, what game are they most likely playing?
Fighting against land over.
Yeah, I've heard people say, I don't know if that's poker or not. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if that's poker. But like last class, I said, what's the most popular game? And someone said blackjack. Blackjack is not poker. All right, what are community cards? What are community cards?
It has 3 cards in the table, and the 3 cards are top of it.
Okay, kind of, yeah. We can say that. I think you got it. I think we can say it a little better, but I think you got it. Community cards are cards that all players can use, right? Some games, you have some cards to yourself, but also there's cards face up on the table. You could, if there's an ace there and you have an ace, you could use that ace, right? Those are called community cards. There are hundreds of different varieties of poker. 5-card draw, 5-card stud, 7-card stud. The most popular poker game today is Texas Hold'em. If you watch professional poker, probably 90% of the time they're playing Texas Hold'em. The last 20 years, it's been quite a popular poker game. So most likely, if you're watching professional poker on TV, they're playing Texas Hold'em. And in Texas Hold'em, they have community cards, 5 community cards in the center of the table that everyone can use. All right, another Motorhead quote. You know I'm born to lose and gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. I like Motorhead, the band, so I put these quotes in there because they're related to what I'm talking about today. Thank you. Any questions about poker? No? Did you learn anything?